Good morning, y'all. It's Sunday morning. It's April the 13th, and I'm Rachel, and I'm gardening for butterflies and for myself on the Alabama Gulf Coast in Zone 9A. And I'm gardening mostly in containers because armadillos were digging up my stuff, and I was just like, I need a garden. So I'm just gonna do what I can to thwart the armadillos. But recently, I've been planting some stuff in the front, in the ground, and nothing has dug it up yet, but I'm not, I'm not banking on it. We'll see. But I can't wait to show it to you. And today it is so great out here. It's like 57 degrees. It feels amazing. The high is only going to be like 72. So it's kind of surprising weather. I was expecting it to get hot fast, but it didn't. So, oh yeah, and I forgot to show y'all my caterpillars. I've got a bunch of monarch caterpillars and chrysalises, and I've got a couple of giant swallowtail caterpillars, and I'm going to show y'all those. So come along with me. Eventually, this whole front thing right here is just going to be pink. I've moved things around, and whenever I get more pink things blooming, I'm going to edit it some more. But this James Galway rose has been so phenomenal this year. And you know what? I was thinking this week, there are some plants that I used to have all the time that are easily started, self-seeded. And then I thought, well, I'll just always have them. And I didn't bother saving seeds. But I need to start making a list of all the things that I've got to have in my garden I can't do without, and saving the seeds. Now, one of them that I haven't taken for granted is this coral nymph salvia right here. Now, it is probably the easiest self-seeder that I have. So I'm going to save seeds from that. And then Gomphrena, I cannot wait until this Gomphrena just starts exploding because it is so much fun. And I'm going to save seeds from that this year. Now, Vinca, it will self-seed, and I rarely save seeds from it. So I'm going to also save seeds from that. This right here, this is anise hyssop. It's going to have like the purple kind of spires on it. That one I almost didn't have this year because I didn't have any seeds to start any, because I thought it would just come up. And so what's cool is I ended up finding some random ones that were growing in a pot, and I saved those. The same thing happened with my cleome, because I have a cleome out here, the only one that's blooming right now, and it started from seed in a pot during the fall, I think, and I potted it on, and then I realized I didn't have any more seed. So luckily, it's a miracle, I had a bunch in a pot, and I'll show you how I rescued them, and now I have them growing on. But I also have a cleome. Oh yeah, I need to show y'all how I rearranged that. I had to put the diamond frost euphorbia, and then this is, I think, I'm not sure if it's wedding cake avalanche, I'm not sure what that's called, but it's a euphorbia, but it's a different one. You see how that diamond frost is like all white, but this one's more fluffy. Anyway, I had to add those to the border right there. But this coleus right here, I've got to put it in a bigger pot, because let me tell you, it is going to get probably 4 feet tall. It just can't be in this tiny pot. See that? That was crazy of me to put that in there. But so I've got to move that. I have put out a bunch of grasses, those bunny tail grasses. I've got them all in here. I potted them up. So I know it still looks like a pot, a bunch of pots. But let me come over here and kind of squat down so you can kind of see. Okay, when you're looking at it like that and it starts to fill in, you can see you're not going to be able to tell that it's in containers for very much longer. Oh yes, and this is Thai basil. This is one of the other ones that I realized I didn't have and didn't start from seed. Last year I had 2 trays of it. It was so wonderful to have as much of it as I wanted. So I'm definitely going to save the seeds. The bees love this. See these teeny tiny flowers? they seem to be drawn to the teeny tiny flowers more than the big showy ones. And it just smells good, and it's pretty, and it'll grow up in a really good shape, and it makes a jillion seeds. I used to just pull them off and just throw them around, and I'd have Thai basil coming up randomly everywhere. So that's another one that oh, and I'm going to save seeds from the fennel. I don't want to buy seeds. I want to have them, you know, so I'm going to try to be a little more responsible this year. One thing that I'm so thankful about having things in containers is that I can just rearrange them, because I put things together, I was like, ugh, that needs some white, that needs some chartreuse, that needs some texture, and just kept moving it around, and now I'm thinking I really like that. On this backside area, I did plant some kale in these spots. Usually I put kale in big pots, but I didn't want to do it this year. I just said, I'm just going to plunk it into the ground. And so I've got more salvia here that is going to get huge. Well, I'm hoping. And then I'm gonna cut back these, cut them down. In fact, these hydrangeas right here, yuck. These are the little cleome seedlings that I rescued from a pot that just randomly grew in there, and so I'm so thankful. But you can see how small they are. It's going to take a long time for them to get tall like the one that's in the garden already. And then here are my dahlia seedlings. They look like they're doing pretty good. I have a little stand of wild phlox. Y'all, if y'all can get some of this, get it. It smells amazing. Now, you see this patch is probably like 6 by 4, and all these right here are wafting their gorgeous scent all over the garden. And I just picked one and I put it in a little jar on the kitchen sink, and it made the whole kitchen smell amazing. So, and the bees and the butterflies love it. So, wild phlox. I know this doesn't look like anything yet, and it may not even ever look like anything yet, but I've been either extremely brave or extremely foolhardy, and I have planted things in the ground right here, and so far nothing's been dug up, and everything should get huge. So this is that I think it's either Korean hyssop or yeah, gosh, golden hyssop. And then you can see I've got a little pink salvia right there, and hopefully that'll get bigger. And I've got the blue-eyed grass, and this is salvia leucantha. So just imagine it's gonna be pink and purple and chartreuse with some bluish purple. And I've got some purple basil in here and some more of that salvia. And these are coleus that should get massive, mixed all in there. So it's just going to be, if it's allowed to live, pink and blue and chartreuse and burgundy, all the fun colors. Man, I did not realize how much of a star this pineapple sage was going to be. I bought it at Slay's, and it was about 5 inches tall, and I must have gotten it, I probably got it a couple of months ago, and I put it in a pot, this pot, and I had it in the backyard, and I didn't expect it to bloom soon. But once it started blooming, I had to bring it out here, and it has been a favorite of the hummingbirds and the butterflies out front. Like, they come to it like a magnet, and it does taste so sweet and good. Isn't it gorgeous? But it's looking a little like it's kind of overgrown itself a little bit, and I might have to trim it back, but oh, I'm loving it. But so I pulled out, I had some kind of wild ginger stuff growing here, and I put some spicy globe basil as kind of like a box hedge here. And I've got something that I've never planted before, but I started it from seed. It's Love Lies Bleeding, so that's gonna be red if it's allowed to live. So we're gonna have purple of the Amistad, salvia, and the blue of this one, the bright blue. And then we'll have this red here and bright blue in the back. And then these two clumps here are lemongrass, and they will grow to fill this entire space. This is my original, and I think it's in a Mystic Spires salvia. That's like the first salvia that I ever bought ever in my entire life. And I think I've had it for about 9 years now. So, or maybe 10, but isn't it gorgeous? And it's just amazing what you can do with salvia. I have plunked so many things in this bed. This is the thing that, you know, I just gave up on growing anything but just throwing out zinnia seeds because everything gets dug up. But y'all, if everything grows here, it is just going to be a crazy, riotous thing of color. These are that cardinal basil. I always get confused. And they're gonna grow big. So that's gonna be like a swath of basil. It's gonna grow like 3 or 4 feet tall if it's allowed to live. So we're gonna have so many purples and pinks and chartreuse and blue. And then I've got my passion flower vines that I'm gonna have to keep tamed a little bit. I just kind of put that brick thing behind there so that it would give me a boundary. Not that I expected anybody else to follow it, but I've been putting in these hyssop, and you can see I've got a bajillion zinnia seedlings. I usually don't thin them or do anything. I just let them duke it out, and I don't know if I'm gonna, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna leave that. But I've got a lot of weeding to do. I have not mulched because maybe that's the trick. Maybe mulch attracts armadillos. And so I haven't mulched, so it just looks messy and icky. But I think all these things are gonna grow really, really thickly. And they all came out of pots that I needed to use for something else. So here I have some Gulf Coast penstemon, and I gotta show you this. We got a bunch of deer. People are like, what, y'all have deer in your? Yes, we have deer, we have everything, but we have herds of deer. So let me show you. Do you see these tips right here? I'm thinking deer came and nipped that off, but I'll keep y'all updated on this. It's gonna be a work in progress, but I'm excited about it because this is really my first foray into trying to grow like a whole bed in the ground since, well, a couple of years. So last year I was brave and I put some salvia in the ground in the back, and it was allowed to live. And so now I'm feeling just really spunky, I guess. I don't know. I have a bunch of milkweed growing back from last year, and they're all this tall. See, about 5 inches tall. And I've been going around and finding, I never even collected the eggs. I got lazy, I was doing something else. So I've been going around and finding caterpillars on my milkweed, monarch caterpillars. I was gonna see if we could find one, but luckily, so everything was so small. Luckily I had that aquatic milkweed. I have never found caterpillars on my aquatic milkweed, but I had it. So I ran out of regular milkweed and I cut that, and they ate it and they loved it, and thank God they're surviving, nay, thriving. Oh, look at that. Speak of the devil. Look at this goofy thing. Okay, I don't know if he's trying to make a chrysalis on this salvia leaf, but I think what I'll have to do is, you know what? I might need to bring him inside. That leaf, we can't trust that leaf to be there for another 2 weeks. This is my original Nepeta, and last year it did slightly well. It was in a pot. It did well for a little bit, and then I think it outgrew the pot really quickly. And it didn't look good through the winter, and I cut it back and I plunked it in the ground, and now it's coming back. But earlier in the fall, I took cuttings and I put them in a thing, and now I have, I don't know, maybe 12 cuttings. I've put them all along the edge of this thing. You know what, maybe not 12, maybe that's too much, maybe 6. But they're all kind of growing along here, and I'm hoping to have big blobs of that all along this, and maybe not, you won't even be able to see this brick anymore. Oh my goodness, it's my first ripe mulberry. I'm so excited about trying this. Yummy, that was so good. And look, I got all these mulberries about to ripen. I'm checking my sweet babe magnolia tree for and I don't think that's it, but it looks like an inchworm or something. But I'm looking for tiger swallowtail caterpillars. I need to look up to see what they look like because I don't know. But sweet babe magnolias is their larval host plant. I've got 3 giant swallowtail caterpillars, and don't they look like bird poo? That does not look edible. I'm so thankful for the aquatic milkweed because it really saved me when I needed a bunch of it, and they had not laid eggs on it. But you can see I've got a bunch of chrysalises up here. I haven't even counted them. I've got 7 chrysalises, and I wish that I could make this show up better. Okay, see those gold flecks on the chrysalises? Is that not incredible? Don't they look like a gorgeous pair, well, a gorgeous set of jade earrings? So lovely. I'm hoping that the ones that have formed chrysalises that will turn into butterflies in about 2 weeks. If they haven't had parasites get inside them, which is possible. That's why I should have collected them as eggs. That way you can guarantee that they will not have parasites of flies or wasps in them. This is Florida betony, and it looks kind of pale mauve like the flowers, and I treat it like a weed, although it is just so pretty. It is native, and it grows, let's see if I pull it out, if I can show you. It grows from runners under the ground, and it's got these little grub looking roots that are edible. They're actually kind of like watercress, no, not watercress, water chestnut. They're crunchy. I've eaten them before. They're edible. If you were starving, you could dig up their root and eat it. But it's, I think it's only edible in the spring. But just wanted to show y'all that. Here's a big handful of Florida betony that I probably pulled up before a long time ago, but it just grows everywhere. It's so annoying, so I yank it up now. My aquatic milkweed is about to bloom, and the blooms are white, but I've never noticed this before. Look at the ends of the buds. They're pink. Isn't that just so beautiful? It's so tiny. Put my finger down there so you can see how small it is. Another gentle Hermione. My wisteria is blooming, and you know what? When they first open, they do have a delicate scent, but it doesn't last long. It's not like the Chinese version, but this is, I don't know, maybe the 4th or 5th year that I've had this, and it's finally starting to look good. Farmer's Dream opened up a little bit more. Isn't she just so spectacular? the blackberry flowers are slightly pink right before they bloom. Here's a little blackberry bud, and then once it opens up, it's white. Oh, but look, you can see a slight tinge of pink still on this one. Well, y'all, spring is springing. It's so awesome to see so much growth in the garden. I'm just feeling very just hopeful for the future, and I can't wait to find out what y'all are growing and what y'all are saving, what seeds you're saving, because that's super important to think about that now. Think, hey, let's make a list. And I'm gonna write one down. I think I'm gonna put one on Pinterest. So I'll have like a board, a visual board, to remind me to save seeds from the plants that I love, and they're easy to grow from seed. Well, y'all, God bless y'all. Y'all have a great week, and I can't wait to find out what's happening in your gardens. And y'all, let's just play outside. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.